most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Get up the energy, Brad.
Brad
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Heining, physical therapist.
Together, we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of
I was
course,
just going to
Bob.
start saying, take the energy back down again a little bit. So today, we're going to talk about 5 simple recipes to heal back pain that won't go away. Plus, we're doing a giveaway.
A giveaway. That's something new.
Yeah, no, it's not. If you're new to our channel, maybe it's new to you, but we always are giving something away.
That's
So
right.
go to bobandbrad.com.
That's right.
You want to show the
Oh.
sign? And go to the giveaway section. And this week we are giving away the Thermatex heating system here.
Oh,
It's
it
the
happens to
platinum
be on
model.
my back right now.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that in detail. You can also go to Facebook. It'll be pinned to the top of the page, the contest that is. Go to Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our
And
program.
don't forget our podcast.
Yeah, our podcast. All right. If you think we ramble too much, go to we have our clips, Bob and Brad clips.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Yeah,
Well, they're going to go up to 3 minutes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
so
it'll be a little more detailed.
yeah, we don't talk as fast.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start getting some motion in the back.
Sure.
Almost always you want to get the joints moving, get
Yep.
that fluid moving and blood
Circulation,
flowing.
that equals
right.
healing. Life is better.
So let's do a trunk rotation, Brad.
Oh,
I'll do
sure.
it since you're all geared up. So when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're going to do, and this works for just about any back pain. Wouldn't you say, Brad?
Right, unless it's really flared up bad movement. But that all, we're going to explain that.
My microphone's falling off.
Don't worry about
So
that,
you're
Bob.
going to wake up, you're going to lie onto your back. Notice how I said lie.
Yeah.
And then bring your legs up into a hook line position, we call it. And you're just going to rotate back and forth like this. Now, for some of you, the untrained eye, you might think that I'm moving my hips. Well, I am, but I'm also twisting my back a little bit and opening the joints and closing the joints.
Right. So notice his heels are close together, his hips are moving, and his shoulders are
staying
not.
down. And you can actually bend way over and even give yourself a little bit of a stretch.
Yep.
And you can go the other way, which I can't do here. But
Oh, be careful, Bob.
So anyway, it'll get that back moving before you even get out of bed.
Mhm.
And then you roll over onto your side in order to get out of bed correctly. You don't go up like this. You roll over onto your side and then use your arm to push you up.
Right.
So
We call that log rolling
log roll
in
There you
physical
go.
therapy school.
That's
That's what I
right.
learned.
All right, the next simple recipe, we should have recipe cards.
Yeah.
Next simple recipe is we want you to try some deep heat. Now, that's where the Thermatex comes in handy. This is an expensive treatment. We're not going to lie to you, but it works really well. I actually, Brad, I just bought one for my mom.
You did.
Well, the reason
Took 3 years, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it took quite a few years, but she had a fall, unfortunately.
Oh, she did.
And, yeah, she fractured a rib.
When?
And, a week ago.
Oh, no,
I think.
because she's okay.
Yeah, she's okay. You know, they don't do anything for it, as
Right.
you know. And she was still having pain, so we got her a Thermatex. The reason I got her a Thermatex, normal heat only penetrates skin deep.
Right, just a few millimeters.
It's not going to get into the joints of that
Yeah.
rib or around the rib.
Yeah. It feels good on the skin, but it's not going to get. This goes in. Can I tell him, Bob?
Yes, tell them.
2.36 inches. This has been measured scientifically. It's going to get through the muscle and into the joint. It's not going to burn it. It's not aggressive
Right.
heat, though. It's just a warm heat, a therapeutic, and this has all been scientifically
Tested.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's going to easily get into that rib area
Yeah.
for her. And she already said she tried it. It feels really great. The thing is, you can leave it on. Really, you can actually leave it on all the time because it only costs a couple pennies a day to run it.
Right.
But,
They recommend at 45 minutes per treatment.
right. And it takes 10 minutes to warm up.
Mhm.
And again, it's not a real aggressive heat, and it can go right through your clothes.
Right.
That's the way.
Right, far infrared.
infrared
You know, the conventional heating, it has to actually contact your skin to get good conduction of the heat. But far infrared will actually go through an air gap. If the pad is not directly on you, you're still going to get benefits.
Right. So, they recommend like twice a day for 45 minutes. And it's really not that hard because you put it in your chair or you strap it on yourself. If
Right.
you go through our link, you get 2 extra straps like this so you can strap it on. I use it for knots up in this area all the time.
Sure.
That's what it works well
People
for
might
me.
be wondering why I'm wearing it like a parachute, but that's what it's for. For the upper back, you can have that option, but otherwise, there's 3 panels here. You can put it around your leg, on your hip, on your mother's case for her ribs.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very versatile. It's called the
Platinum
model. Yeah.
So the next one, Brad, this is going to depend on how your back feels when it bends forward and how does it feel when it extends.
Mm-hmm.
So if your back bothers you when you're doing mostly flexion things, now that would include sitting. 'Cause
Right.
for a lot of us, when we sit, we're kind of flexed.
Right.
Then you're going to want to work on the opposite of that. You're going to want to do extensions. Brad, if you don't,
Well,
mind moving
we'll
this.
get this out of the way.
So you're going to actually get down onto your stomach, and you might just lie here first on your stomach for a while, and then maybe even get up onto your elbows for a
Mhm.
while, and just see how your back tolerates that. If it's fine, it actually feels a little bit better. You might actually take your hands and do kind of micro press ups.
Just gently working it, not creating any pain, but getting some movement. If it hurts the first time, but after that, the second and third time, it's loosening up. That's a good sign. Continue to work with it.
Well, make sure you don't do this. Where
Ah,
you're actually
yeah.
picking up the pelvis.
Yeah, right there.
The pelvis needs to stay down. If it doesn't allow you, if you can only go this far, you can only go this far.
Yep.
And you keep working on it. But that's the general rule you're going to follow if you have a flexion bias where it hurts when you flex. Now, if it hurts the other way, when you extend,
Like this.
when you extend or you raise up, actually, if you even have tight hip flexors,
Mhm.
Brad, I want to have people try this once. I want you to bend over and grab a piece of skin like this.
Oh, that's kind of weird, Bob.
Now you stand up. What happens? You
Oh,
can't stand all the way up.
right.
So what happens? Your back extends more.
Right.
So if your back extends more and it hurts to be just standing, you need to work on flexion.
So I
The
just
opposite.
want to make sure people understand in case. So what he's saying is this represents those muscles
Being
inside
tight.
being tight. It's not.
Good
Don't
point, Brad.
don't do this, especially in public.
It's not a treatment. But I don't know if you could see that, Brad, if you could point that out. Like if I stand now, the movement's got to come from somewhere.
Right. The
So
hips
it's coming-
won't move.
Yeah, so now I'm arching my back
Yep.
further.
Yeah.
So that's very common in people who have spondylolisthesis or spinal stenosis that
Sure.
those hips might be tight. So we need to have those stretched out.
Mhm.
We need to have those hip flexors.
Which the prone press up that you just demonstrated
That does it.
that does it. Not as aggressive as some, but that also has a
And
component.
we also want to do. I'm going to make a sacrifice here, Brad. I'm not going to even use a pillow.
Ooh.
I can also stretch the hip flexor by doing this and stretch it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to put a pillow under this knee, it can be more
A
comfortable.
lot more comfortable.
Bob is being very brave today. and
Right.
Tough.
So that's one way to do it. You can also lie on the bed and put one leg off the edge like this and pull the other one up like that.
So this
And
is
that
the hip.
stretches it too.
Mhm.
But also what really
You're
got-
getting up the way
I
you
got
just said
him
not to.
don't do
He's
what I
guilty.
say.
Gotcha.
Don't do what I do. Do what I say. So you can also use a lacrosse ball, and actually, Brad, if you want to take one, but I'm just going to show it here, even though you'd have to do it on a hard floor.
Right.
You can actually just roll around on the ball itself and work on those hip flexors.
So yeah, so you're getting it right in here. It's kind of a weird feeling, but you have to approach it and get used to that.
Yeah, and you want to find the tender spots. I mean,
Mhm.
if it hurts, that means that it needs some work.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the better option for this is actually to use a massage gun. And we've got this is which one was this? C2?
C2.
Yeah.
C2. Kind of like the band U2, except for it's C2. And there's 5 adjustments, but you can get in. Now, I wouldn't do it standing up because you don't
right.
relax.
You want the muscle
Yeah,
relaxed.
You want to be lying down and you get in there. Just be careful for your inguinal crease where you've got the lymph nodes. You don't want to beat those up. So work it around so it's on the muscle, and you can get in deep. Ooh, yeah, makes me feel like I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, a little too much information. Okay, so now if you I'm going to go back, Brad. I actually skipped this part. If it hurts when you bend forward like this, you also want to
Oh.
make sure you have plenty of motion in your hips
Yeah.
and your hamstring in order so that you can bend over without bending your back.
This is a big thing coming up. I've noticed more videos, more comments, people
On that
hits,
posterior
a-
chain.
And Bob has really been doing some good homework
Yeah.
on this.
So what you're going to do is you're actually going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to mobilize the glutes and the hamstrings.
Sure.
So the glutes, you can use a lacrosse ball, and you're just going to lie on top of it, and you're going to find the tender spots. There goes
Ooh.
my mic again. And you're going to roll around onto it and hit the tender spots and loosen up that glute. Now for the hamstring,
You can use a tennis ball if you want.
you can use a tennis ball, but these lacrosse balls really work well.
Yeah, they're a little more
They're,
aggressive.
they're more aggressive, yeah. For the hamstring, you can actually find, if you can have a high table like this, you hit the hamstring, you find the spot, and then you can even do flossing like this.
I like this.
This
'cause
works well.
you can feel that hamstring move
Yeah.
across it, and it's a good way to actually do a massage without, by yourself.
Right, exactly.
hmm
And you can move it around and really move it in the right spots. This was developed by Kelly Starrett,
Yep.
the founder of the Supple Leopard, and
Yeah,
we have the
so
book here, but yeah. it's-
Oh yeah. Yep. Boy, this is good.
You can also use the gun on your glutes and hamstrings.
Oh yeah. This is what I use this on both. I've got my glute as well as my hamstrings. But here, move, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
We got to show these people the way. And you could do this on a bed if you wanted to, but I'll work it now by my SI joint. But here we're the hamstrings. I like to do this so I can relax it and work in.
Brad, you can actually even bring it this way, your leg this
Yep.
way. Bring it this way. That's putting more stress on the hamstring where it attaches
Sure.
to the ischium or the sit bones. And then you can actually massage it.
And here, a little trick. I took the ball off and I used a flat plastic head because the plastic, if you're doing it over your clothing, it really is smooth and it's easy to.
Yeah, and you could even tack it down a little bit, Brad, and even try to do that.
Yep.
And do a little flossing that way too.
Yeah, there's so many ways to use these massage guns.
They're just, it's a lot
Ooh.
easier to do this than
Yeah.
to use the ball or whatever. But,
It is. It
but
takes less
either one
effort,
Is,
and
either one is fine.
you get better results with the gun, I think.
So you'll find once you gain that motion, you're putting less stress on your back, and your back's going to start to feel better.
Sure.
I mean, there's a reason your back keeps hurting, and it usually is because you're you're stressing it somehow.
hmm
So you got to stop the pain makers, as we
Right.
do a whole
Right.
program. We actually have a program on sciatica. If you go to Bob and Brad, it's an absolutely free program.
It's
Go
a series of 40 separate videos addressing different components of back pain and sciatica.
Yes.
And you don't have to watch them all. You pick out the title that works best for your situation, watch it, and there's a PDF printout on paper of a review of the video, the exercises, completely free,
Yeah.
Bob.
Go to Bob and Brad, and it's under the program section, and look for sciatica back pain.
That's right.
So if you have back pain, even and no sciatica, it's still helpful.
Exactly.
So, all right, thanks for watching.